This is a question that I have to ask every guy that comes on the show. Why her? What about her stood out to you that made her like, okay, this is the one for me?
Being very smart was a big thing to me.
Okay.
So and then I saw that right from her and I was like, yeah, fantastic. And then as I started to get to know her, just basically the sweetest human being. So,
Aww.
It was really just like that trifecta of those.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Nicole.
Welcome to my comfy couch. So as I told you guys, we're going to start this segment on men who are married and finding out how did they know she was the one. So men, single men who are watching, thinking about getting married, women who are thinking about, okay, how do I know he's my husband? Pay attention to these series, okay? So the first one I have on here is Mark. Mark, tell me about yourself. Tell me, how old are you?
I'm 31.
31, okay. And you recently got married, right?
That's right, a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago. Okay, Mark, so how long were you dating? What's her name? You want to say her name?
Her name is Rayne, and we were dating for about 7 years before we got married.
7 years?
Yes, 7.
Okay, so that's...
7 years, we were engaged for about a year and a half.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, because that's a good question, because a lot of times on the show we bring up the whole topic of, okay, if a guy hasn't married you in a couple years, 3, 4, definitely not by the 7-year mark, then he's probably not really serious about marrying you. Like, what do you think took you so long? How long did it take before you knew she was the one?
Right. Well, I think that might be like, a fair benchmark, that 3-4 years or something. Mine was really long because we stuck to the plan. We both went through undergrad where we met at the beginning of our undergrad journey, and then we went through grad school a long distance. So because of the time and, because we didn't want to get married or engaged while we were in undergrad, grad school, things like that. So that was the main thing, was that, we stuck to the plan. We knew that we were going to, if we got married, be together for a while before we did that.
Okay, so that's a good point. So both of you knew you wanted to get married. You knew that this was something that you both wanted. Is that right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so you guys just kind of followed the plan. So it wasn't like it was 3, 4, 5 years and no one had spoken of marriage. It was like, this is where we're going, but we just want to finish school first.
Right, sure.
Okay, cool. So now this is a question that I have to ask every guy that comes on the show. Why her? What about her stood out to you that made her like, okay, this is the one for me?
Well, obviously beautiful was the number one thing that I was like, okay, let's find out more about you. And then so when I found out more about her, we worked together. We originally, we met while working at Domino's while we were in Orlando for UCF. And so I saw that she was a hard worker. As far as like the younger females, they were mostly answering the phones, but she was making pizza, kind of like an assistant manager. So she was really smart. I knew that she was, basically being very smart was a big thing to me. So and then I saw that right from her and I was like, yeah, fantastic. And then as I started to get to know her, just basically the sweetest human being. So, it was really just like that trifecta of those.
Okay, so I like that because I feel like guys are like that. They have certain things they're looking for in a woman. So it might not be the same across the board. But as you said, okay, being smart, that was something that was big for me. So would you say that most guys have, certain criteria or certain things that they're looking for and that's kind of what they go for? Or do you think like across the board, there are some attributes that most men are looking for in a wife?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that I could speak for all men, but and so I think that most men or every person is different. So there's got to be some sort of criteria that everyone's looking for, but everybody's different. But there's got to be something that you have to enjoy spending time with them. You have to trust them. Those are the biggest, most important things.
Absolutely. Okay. Oh, see, that's wonderful. Okay, so tell me, how did you pop the question? Because the girls watching, we want to know, like.
Right. Okay. So the way that I popped the question was, it's a fun story actually. The way that I did it was, Rayne, she was planning my 30th birthday, a few months in advance, right? She was talking to a friend of mine trying to plan a surprise 30th birthday party for me and all of my friends. And so we had already been together for a long time, as I had explained, about like 5 years or so. All my friends knew that, she was the one. It was just, when is it going to be official? So he, in that like middleman, came to me and said, she's trying, the first question he asked was, are you thinking about proposing soon? And I said, yes, definitely. As soon as she's done with school, I'll be ready to propose. Now, the timelines were exactly that time, my birthday, end of school, so on and so forth. And so he basically said, like, well, I have an idea. If you, do you know how you're going to propose yet? If not, how about you pull like a double surprise on her, and while she's trying to, execute her surprise birthday party thing for you, you can turn it around on her, and then everybody will already be there. We can have a nice, party like you would. So that's how I did it.
Oh, look at him looking out. I love that.
Yeah, so then we ended up going to her hometown of Fort Myers, and we all rented a large beach house, and we did that. And so there was just a moment, like when we first got there, where I was able to like sneak away and get the photographer to take all the pictures and everything.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. See, look at that. Guys, take note, okay? So I did want to go back to the question I meant to ask. I'm sure you have met other smart girls before, right? So tell me, what do you think like stood out with this one?
Well, the first thing I said, her looks, of course, and then another big thing was her loyalty, I would say. I remember, I would say that there was a moment when, in the first year of our relationship, I lived in a big house with a lot of my friends, college dudes, and there was a moment where one of my friends stopped me in the kitchen. We were one-on-one, and he was just like, that girl loves you, man. Like, hang on to her. And that was like the real first moment where I was like, wow. Yeah, like I know, I see it, and it really like hit me.
So it's like really confirmed that. Oh, see, that's awesome. I like that because, like you said, you had your roommates and stuff. So maybe you weren't balling at the time. You didn't have your career and everything,
right.
And she really liked you during that time. So I hear guys say loyalty is definitely one of the big ones for them. So that's good. So she had that mixture of things, the right combination for you. Okay, so if you had any advice to men who are single, wanting to be married, and trying to find a wife, do you have any advice for them in terms of what they should be doing, or just anything you want to kind of say to men who are kind of marriage minded? Sure, learn to be patient. Just figure it out. Not even just for women in life, patience really will help out, but people, whether you think you're right or not, when you're talking about emotions, there's no right answer. So just because you feel like you are right, the other person in the same exact way feels like they're right. And so really just being patient and understanding that. Oh, I love that whole patience. So do you feel like there was any time where you weren't sure she was the one, like if you weren't sure if you guys were going to make it? Did you have any of those kind of moments? So there weren't too many moments where I thought we weren't going to make it, but there was in particular where, early in our relationship, I was monumentally busy, with 2 full-time jobs, so on and so forth. The works, her the same, but, it was starting to get, I was concerned that I wasn't able to be there for her as much as she wanted me to be there for her, or, the level of commitment that that she was seemingly looking to get from me very early on. And so that's when I was like, we really need to take a step back and like, I'm giving you what I can, and let's make this work by not pushing it, overboard. Okay, so you had that communication where it was like, okay, I notice this is going this way. Let's talk about it and find something to make it work because this is what we want. Yes. Yeah. See, and that's the thing is, I love that whole communication piece, and it seems in different things that's what you said. So you've got to have those maybe uncomfortable talks, or when it comes time to it, you have to speak. You have to speak up, and I think it makes a difference when both people are like, this is our trajectory, this is where we want to go. So I don't think they would deter them if you brought up a topic like that, or if challenging times like that occurred. Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna go the distance, then that's not gonna be the hardest conversation that you're gonna have. So just don't be afraid to rip the Band-Aids off as soon as possible, because the infection will only fester. Oh, I agree. Oh, well, congratulations to you, and we wish you many, many, many years with your bride. Thank you so look forward to seeing your pictures. Yes. We'll post some pictures of the happy couple. Yes. And thank you so much for being on my comfy couch. Definitely. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Awesome. Toodles.